Good morning, folks. This is the Green Valley Camera Club's multimedia special interest group, zooming in on November 22nd. And we are just on Zoom today, and we have some people who are going to have some things to share with us. Does anybody have anything they want to contribute first before we start doing our sharing? Nope.
And we figured we'd talk a little bit about how to run the hybrid Zoom after everybody's films got shown.
Okay, that's fine. That's good. All right. So, well, let's start with Arlene then.
Okay, well, when we were in Florida, we took a ghost tour outside of Tampa. And the ghost tour was done by one of Jimmy's best friends from childhood. So we'll see what kind of a job he did. So let's see, I do share screen. Okay, optimize sound, share. All right, and then
We got your desktop.
Okay, wait a minute.
Be afraid. Be very afraid. As the sun sets and the moon rises, the restless souls of Mr. Ebor's city's past begin to stir. This is the scarier side of Tampa. Aside from culture and fun, Ybor City is one of the most haunted towns in the United States. Walk through some of the most evil places where some residents found paradise, others death. Discover the ghostly legends as you visit the fourth most haunted building in America, the Cuban Club. What happened to 8-year-old Jamie, who never made it home and makes himself known occasionally by moving ball across the floor? Is he playing with guests or taunting the guests? Or who made an actor named Victorio hang himself after his first failed performance on the stage? Or what really happened to a beautiful woman whose ghost appears with glowing orange eyes? Hear the stories and decide for yourself if ghosts are real or not. Come again to Mr. Ebor's City if you dare.
Well, that was fun.
Yeah.
Was the narrator the person giving the tour?
Yeah, what I had to do was I had to call him later because when I was trying to capture, what he was saying, his narration while we were doing the ghost tour, it was too, cavernous. The sound, I couldn't pick up anything. So when I got back, I called him and I said, hey, so I wrote a little script for him and then I sent it to him and then he read what I wrote. So.
Mhm.
But the sound was terrible. I did the best I could because again, I did it off of my cell phone, and I was capturing it off of my camera with the cell phone, and I put it in Audition. But the sound quality isn't there. But I did the best I could.
So was that Orba City?
Ybor,
Ybor. Spell it then for me.
but Ybor. It's even
Why?
though, yeah, even it's Ybor, but they pronounce it Ybor City.
Ybor. Okay. Wanted to get it right, spelled right at least. Yeah. So when you had him redo the narration for you,
Yeah,
how were you recording that?
in my car. I know.
Well,
It was
no,
quite a
but
rush.
on your phone or what?
Yeah, so I sent him the script that I wanted him to read. So
Yeah.
then he printed it out. Then I called him and on my cell phone. Then I had my camera, and then I recorded it from my camera. And then I put everything then into Premiere Pro.
But the audio was coming through your phone.
The audio was coming through the phone. So then once I put everything into Premiere Pro, I launched it into Audition to try to boost up, but because I'm not a sound engineer, I was just playing with curves and dials and all this stuff. And it sounds a little bit better, little, not a whole lot. But again, I'm not a sound engineer and I really didn't know what I was doing. But I thought, well, it turned out okay, I guess.
Sounded a little ghosty.
Yes, it did sound ghosty. So were the ghost software that you added, or did you somehow film ghosts he was showing?
Oh, no. Everything was done in Premiere. So, the animation, I get off of Pixabay.
Okay.
And so then, I have layers and layers and layers and layers of stuff. And, and that's how I do my animation, through layers.
Well, that was cool. Good job on that.
Mhm. Okay. Well, next is Holly.
Oh, I thought you'd have lots. I can't.
Well, I thought I would get Kevin, but he's not here yet, at least. So
Okay. So I have to change my view. Oh, there's my share screen. All right. Let's see here. Share screen. Share sound. Optimize for video clip. Here we go.
Iceland. Sometimes it seems like science fiction. People still live in earth-sheltered homes, and people used to live in the 1800s in caves dug into the sides of hillsides. Most of those were shepherds' huts, temporary dwellings while their sheep were sheltered from the harsh weather in Iceland.
hey, Holly,
Yeah.
did you go full screen on that?
Oh,
Because I've got
There.
big black blobs all
how's
over.
that? Now I have. Is that better?
Little, yeah. There's only one blob now.
I don't know why there's one blob.
It seemed like a dream that we were there. We were there to hear about those people that lived long ago, some of them a little more modern than the 1800s. One group, even in the 1970s, stayed in a cave for a short time. That cave still exists for us to view. It's not imaginary, it's real. And most of those people were real too, except for the hidden people. Listen as we hear our guide tell us the history of the cave people, come on in, who inhabited a dug-in cave and have a look around.
Whoops.
Their long ago and more recently. Their photographs. Join us. We'll see some of their photographs and their belongings. And if you listen carefully, you'll learn about the cave dwellers of Iceland, including those mysterious hidden people.
So, welcome. My name is Smári, and I am going to tell you the story of the last cave dwellers in Iceland. Okay. But first, just a few words about the caves themselves. So, first of all, the name of the caves is Laugarvatnshellar.
Yeah.
I know it might sound complicated if you don't speak the language, but I'll at least tell you what it means. So, the first part, Laugarvatn. This is a village, not too far away, and you'll probably pass it on your way to wherever you're going. And the second part, Hellar, just means caves. So these are the caves of Laugarvatn. And these caves are man-made. But we don't have any sources that can confirm who made them or when. But there is a theory, of course. And the theory says they were made by some Irish monks that we know were here in the country before the settlement. So before the Vikings arrived, somewhere around the year. But then of course the monks left, and about 200 years later, the Vikings arrived and settled. And then everyone in Iceland was a farmer. And Laugarvatn, the village, was just a farm, and the farmers from there would often bring their sheep up here to graze the land down there. But this is too far to walk back and forth every day. So when they would come here, they would stay for a week, 10 days. Something like that. Poor cow.
Yeah.
So when the cow was supposed to go out in the spring, after spending the whole winter in here, it had become blind.
Oh, I can imagine.
Just from staring in the dark for so long.
Yeah, okay.
Well, but before the people moved in, and when these were just open caves and mainly used by sheep and shepherds, there was a lot of talk that there were ghosts here. So
But it wasn't a bull, it was a cow.
So he accepted to bring the sheep here and stay for a week. And the first night, he went to sleep inside the cave, but woke up in the middle of the night when someone took him by his feet and dragged him out. Well, but you know, he was kind of half awake, half asleep, so he didn't realize what was happening. So he just crawled back in and went back to sleep. But then it happened again. Someone took him by his feet and dragged him out. He hidden people, giving him a sign that he had to move back with the sheep before he would snow in. And you know, the hidden people are really central in Icelandic culture. And they're just people living in another dimension. So most of us can't see them.
You're
But they're
a
here.
storyteller.
You can
And-
see them?
I can feel them, I guess. And if you respect them, they help you. But of course, if you disrespect them,
They're gonna
You
drag
would-
you by
yeah,
your
well-
feet into the snow.
yeah, and, or even worse. When you go to do the laundry, just leave your baby in the bed, but have the Bible with it, and I will take care of it.
Oh, there were good hidden people and not so good, depending on you. And that's not just science fiction. It's real. It's real to us and the people of Iceland.
So that's it. It was a draft done this morning. I see I have to shift some of the sound a little bit, but
That was really interesting, Holly.
Yeah, we're unmuted.
What did you do to those pictures to make them look like that? The stills?
You're hot, you muted.
mute. I put a filter on them. It was a comic filter.
Very effective use of that. Like the look of that.
Remind me of Jerry Marion.
Hardly.
Where did you find the comic filter?
Oh, it's in part of iMovie.
iMovie, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're clicked on video, it's up at the top right.
Yeah, I just haven't looked at those. Yeah.
There's many. There's one that's science fiction, but it didn't do what I wanted.
Mm.
The comic one did. Yeah. So the sound has to be moved around a bit, and there's actually a clip that's missing. So, but I wanted to do something for today, and that was my draft.
Good. So the caves, at one point they said they were man-made, and at another point it seemed like they were natural. They're in the lava, right?
They're in the lava field, but somebody, then they think the monks dug the cave into the lava flow. So the rock is still there. You can see the lava kind of hanging over the edge of the door and stuff. That's solidified lava. And they hollowed out the cave and then later built on the front of it.
It was molten.
Mm-hmm. Well, that was very interesting. I'm sure you're going to perfect that a bit. And would imagine that you're going to have a number of more videos coming from your trip to
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Haven't found the time yet. I'm getting ready to cook a turkey. That takes me a while.
Okay. Okay. So I didn't sense anybody else has one to show. Is that right? Well, Brian, why don't you launch into your conversation about Zoom, hybrid, and et cetera, et cetera.
Okay. I'm going to share screen on okay, you should see a YouTube screen.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. This went on November 19th. What we did, rather than just share the recording of the thing, we added title screens in front of it and credit screens at the end. Where are they?
Oh, they were there.
Yeah, they were there. Yeah, that's and then to get directly to the videos that are shown, you can just put the name and the time, and YouTube will. Here's the clips that Barb was, the email addresses that, shoot, the URLs that Barb referenced on the screen. This will take you straight to that URL. The recordings of some of the videos seemed a little jerky, so we replaced all of the videos with the original files that were sent to us before the thing, so they should play nice and clean.
Wow.
And
Comments here and there like technical oops.
yeah, let's I'm gonna give up the screen here as soon as I find, there it is, stop share. Yeah, there's a couple of technical things that would be worth mentioning to anybody that's going to do one of these. Let me get my notes up. Yeah. Okay. Despite having mentioned this numerous times, we had people come up to us who apparently had no idea that the how to do a hybrid Zoom diagram and instructions were on the multimedia SIG portion of the website. Still, let's see, for anybody that's going to run one of these meetings, God bless her for bringing the snacks and everything, but snacks that rattle are maybe not the best idea. We think it was probably Paul McCrary munching chips, which was perfectly audible in the recording.
He was the closest to the mic.
Because we think it was him because he was closest to the mic. He was not the only one eating chips, but crunch, crunch, crunch. Barb now knows where the microphone is on her laptop.
Yeah, of course, I couldn't hear any of that on my end, so I was really surprised when I watched the final YouTube thing of the sound, and that's when I went searching. I didn't even know where my microphone is on my computer. I'm thinking I'm going to see something lit up or a little hole or something like the camera, and literally I had to go online to find out where my microphone is located. And then that made sense why that paper, because I grabbed it right by the area where the microphone was to present, to hold it up. And so, I learned something about
So where is the microphone? Because I've got a laptop close, similar to yours.
Yes, mine's an older computer, I think at 2015. So it depends, but mine is kind of under the escape key. You can't see it, but mine's located, on the keyboard underneath the key.
Interesting.
Yeah, and that's exactly where I had placed the item I was going to lift up and show in the video, in the presentation, and it was covered with that cellophane. And so nothing that I would have caught. And I guess Holly and I kind of went over a little bit about when we were going to hold up our items, when she held up her book. Originally, when she was sharing that on a one-to-one screen, Zoom screen, the lighting was not good in her room. So she experimented with that where her face was lit up better and that type of thing. And then I would see a reflection off of her photo book. And so we had talked about those things actually, but obviously never talked about the
Sound.
And Brian, you're not able to take that out. Is that correct? When it's a taped like it was?
I did tweak it a little bit, but there's a limit on how much time I'm willing to spend on a YouTube recording. So
it's not a consistent sound.
Yeah, and it's not consistent. So yeah.
Well,
we did suppress the munching a little bit because it was a fairly consistent noise. I don't know if you can hear it, but the lesson for all of us is know your equipment, I guess, and have some idea of what effect things can have on your audio. Audio is, we harp on audio all the time. It's half of your film, it's half of your performance, and and Susan and I lose track of this too. You concentrate so much on the images that, oh yeah, audio, and you catch up later. But at any rate, there was that. Now, for actually running a thing, we started with the gallery view turned on so everybody in the in-person audience could see the remote participants, and then we started blanking the cameras when things got started, and we ultimately blanked the camera pointed at us because nobody needs to see what the techies are doing, and it's just a distraction. But we did have, the tablet sitting up there, and for anybody that's going to do one of these, that's very useful because by signing on with your tablet as another participant, like a remote participant, what it does is it allows you to, sitting right there as things are going on, see what the audience at home is seeing. So like Holly's video today, if she had a second one going and she was presenting it, then she would have seen the gray squares covering up her presentation. And we will continue to do that when we run one of these things as the text. And I just lost that again. Doggone it. What else is on there? Do you remember?
No.
Sent, hang on, one more thing.
Yeah.
No, I guess that's pretty much it.
I have a question then, Brian.
Okay.
At the end, when you're ready to share your video and you're talking,
They couldn't.
you introduce it, it did not pop up your picture like it did whenever Holly would talk or I would talk. So what was the reason for that?
Okay, because of the blurble we had just before we got going, we had over an hour ahead of time, had everything set up and all of the settings are just perfect. And then somebody else signed on as a host using the account and knocked us off. So Gene's getting up to talk and we're scrambling over there trying to get the settings back. And we're not sure that the bench mic that we had over there to the side was the primary mic. It should have picked us up better than it did. So what we think was happening was the mic for the in-person audience was the one on the camera that we were using, which is a webcam, like perches on top of your PC. We had it on a tripod aimed out at the audience. So we were a little behind the mic pickup, and we figured that's what it was. And because we were there as the audience, the camera wasn't aimed at us. So when we started talking, it was the only way for us to appear on the screen would have been to reach over and turn the camera to face us, and that just wasn't worth it.
So I'll add to that business about logging in with another device. You all obviously have a Zoom account, even if it's free. And when you go there, you can start a meeting. And I call it having a practice session with me, myself, and I, because I will then log in as a different, I will send an email invitation to a different email address so that then I can log in with my iPad with that one. I can log in with my phone with that other address. And then I can see exactly what Brian's saying. You can see what the participants are going to see. And that's kind of helpful for troubleshooting and that kind of thing. It wouldn't have helped with the paper, maybe. I'm not sure. And
it would have if you had recorded the session, and then shut everything off and listened to it. Then you would have gone, "Whoa, what's that?"
Yeah, yeah. Well, and I was doing a webinar Saturday, and I had written out my script as to what I was going to contribute, and so it's 4 pages long. And where do I put this so I can read it and not cover up the camera and not make noise and all of that thing. And about a half an hour before we were going to start the practice half hour, I remembered that we had teleprompters at one point in time when we were back in the club, and I think Jean was doing a narration for some video that we were making, and we used teleprompters. So I downloaded a teleprompter, and with my little tripod and the iPad deal, it sat right on the top, right above the camera on my laptop, so I could read it. I'll have to go back and look at it when they get it posted to see. But I was concerned also that my eyes weren't somewhere really weird while I was reading it. So it'll be interesting to see how that worked out. That's it.
The last thing that we'd offer is anybody that went to the film festival saw how we did it there. We did it here also, by having the files sent to us ahead of time, we could load them all sequentially on a timeline, add things like those web addresses, doing it in Resolve. It doesn't matter what you use. It can be Premiere, Resolve, whatever. And then you compile the whole thing, render it into a single file. Then you open it in a window, maximize the window. And when you get it started by running it in VLC Media Player, you start and stop everything that happens with just a push of the space bar. That way the audience isn't sitting there waiting for you to fumble around in the files and find the file, start the file, stop it, maximize the script. No, it's all done with a simple press of the space bar. Susan came up with that, and we will never do a presentation without using that method, because it's much cleaner, simpler, and a more professional performance. And surely we in the multimedia SIG should be able to do that. End of my soapbox for the morning. That's basically what we had.
Yeah.
Do you got anything?
You did good.
Okay.
I look forward to seeing it.
It went up the day after the event.
Okay, I see Kevin joined us. Hi, Kevin.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Kevin.
Do you still have something to share with us?
I do have something to share very quickly. This is a little video postcard from Yellowstone National Park. Was there about a month ago, and everything you'll see is video. There's no still photography. So we can chat about it after I share it. Where's my goodie? Hang on. Oh, it's wanting me, what's it want me to do? Hang on, it's wanting me to do something. 1 second here. I'm sorry, everybody. Hang on. I got some new software on the computer. Oh, it's asked me to quit and reopen again, of course. Okay, well, let me quit and reopen. I'll have to come back to Zoom. Hang on, I'll be back.
That's one of those things, I guess, just because it worked yesterday doesn't mean it's going to work today. Just because, nothing comes with everything. There's always something more that you have to get. And the other adage is nothing's up to date.
Well, that never happens to us.
Yeah.
But it never happened.
I'm wondering about something we probably need in Camera Club we don't have. Remember back in the day, Carl Sparfeld used to do all the field trips by himself, plus a ton more. And gradually that got taken over by Sue Rock and a group that she formed. It was like a field trip SIG almost. And they take different parts of it and they do a nice job, really great job actually with field trips. So field trips are still a real positive thing. And I'm thinking of all the work that's been done on the technical aspect of presentations to set up the room, all that Brian and Susan did to organize it and put out instructions. And I'm wondering if we should have some sort of a SIG that is a presentation SIG, the technical aspects of presentations, so that there'd be a number of people on hand that could run that aspect, the physical aspect of setting up the equipment and so on. And I guess mostly that should go to Brian and Susan, who I think ducked out for a minute. But that's my query and something for everybody to think about. We've got almost, I think, over 800 members now, but at least over 770. And a lot of them are younger and very technically literate. And we maybe would put in an ad for that if somebody who's good at that could run it, could organize it. Just
Let's not forget Phil Rock's contribution in all of that.
That's right. Yeah. Phil has done, and I guess he worked with you right on this last one. And then Chuck Hill used to. I don't know if Chuck is still interested in doing that kind of thing or not. And Ron Stein has always been ready, willing, and able to do a background job on it, but he does not want to be in the foreground on it. So it's a thought.
Well, we sent the notes about this last thing to Chuck Hill and Paul McCrary.
Yeah. Well, Paul, I think, has never been comfortable doing it, but he knows he depends on somebody doing it for his shows. And that made sense. And for Showtime too. And actually, you know, I used to do the travelogue and then I do the speaker series, but I always want to at least back up, if not someone that would do it, because I can speak, I can do public speaking okay, but I don't think I can do technical, physical setup comfortably.
Who's doing the travelogue tomorrow?
Paul McCrary, I don't know who's setting it up. Probably Phil, I would think, unless Brian and Susan, you are.
We're packing.
We're
No.
packing.
Okay, must be Phil then. Yep. And
Okay.
I think they're going to have to be in the Onza room, because although they were originally scheduled for Desert Hills, somebody at the West Center messed up what was happening with the equipment at Desert Hills.
I just registered for that today and it says Desert Hills, so.
Well, yeah, you'll probably get something. When is it? Tomorrow?
Tomorrow, more evening.
Tomorrow, you'll probably get something like an email shot. What does he call it? An e-blast?
Yes.
That was the last I heard. Maybe that's changed. But Kevin, you're on for December.
Yes, I am. I'll be ready to go.
Are you ready to set up? Or do you need somebody to set up the equipment for you?
Probably that's something that we'll have to work on. So I probably would need some help with the first time.
Yeah.
So we can work on that.
What's the date?
December, just a minute.
I think it's 16th, Brian. It's Thursday, the 16th, I believe.
Will help.
Okay, thank you.
Good.
I need all the help I can get.
Good, thank you.
All right. All right, I've got this video real quick. We'll share it if everybody's ready.
Go
This
for
is
it.
on Yellowstone. Okay, there you go.
Wow. Takes
Beautiful.
back. I was there a few years ago.
That was wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
A video postcard is a good name for it. Very nice.
Really, that
I never heard that term before. Is that yours or something you've heard?
Oh, I just think of it as being, in a sense, there's a calmness and a serenity, and
Yeah.
it just kind of shows what's going on. So I don't know. That's, for want of a better term, without incorporating still pictures and stuff, it's a video postcard.
Okay. It was nice how you mixed the distant and close-up shots and the geyser shots with the and other geothermal with the animals and the people. It's just nicely balanced, but also kept you interested rather than having 100 shots of one thing. It's really
No,
good.
thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. I think it's one of those things where you try to mix it up so it's not just all, like you said, all animals or all this or all that, and kind of blend it throughout the video.
Yeah.
yeah, including some shots of some very stupid people.
Actually, the quick goodie on that for you is the people that were at Old Faithful at the geyser, when you saw them with the buffalo, really that's an optical illusion because there's a telephoto lens and there's compression involved. So they're not as close as you think. Now, the one where the people were walking down the pathway, the funny thing is, I walked up on that buffalo within about 10 feet. He was standing between two pine trees. He was just standing there. I never saw him until I was right on him, and then backed up and got out of the way. But you're looking around and stuff, and I think that was the one thing that was fun about that shot, is that those people are walking along. It was like, oh, there's a buffalo.
Yeah, right. So Kevin, I'm really interested in the equipment you were using and the technique you were using, because the video, of course, is so absolutely stunningly sharp, and the pans are smooth and everything. So what was done in camera, what was done in post?
I have a question too.
$5 says he was using a tripod.
Yeah.
Well, sure. Yes.
There were times when I've been in Yellowstone where the color was more vivid in a lot of areas, and the color throughout this one seemed to be just minorly subdued. There wasn't a real strong color.
Sure. Well, to answer both Grace's question and your question, for the color, we were there 5 days. The first day was pretty nice with some sun. The second 2 days were completely overcast, and there wasn't a hint of sunshine. And so really the colors weren't as snappy as I would like. Just as a sidebar, on the first day I was shooting still photography and video. And on day 2 and day 3, I just hate shooting on overcast days for photography, still photography. So I basically said, okay, I'm just going to do video. And then as that went on, I did a little bit of still photography the last couple of days, but it really became more about a video project than it did shooting stills. So to also answer Grace's question, I've got a little Canon 405 video camera. It shoots 4K, and Brian's right. I was shooting on tripod for like 99% of that. The thing that I did, I've got a fluid head, which is a head for the bigger camera, which turns and it's very smooth. Well, since I'm using this small little camcorder, I did not have that with me. So what I was doing for some of it was I was taking, and I've got a ball head, and I had it on just a little bit of tension. And so what I did is I would just slightly, very slowly pan like that. Now that's for some of that. I would say most of it, Grace, is done in post. So with a big image, you can add that. You're going to get way smoother than you're probably ever going to get, short of having a fluid head.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And those fluid head, I mean, I have one. They're a heavy tripod to carry around.
Yeah, it becomes a real idea of saying, okay, I'm here on vacation. Now, am I going to start lugging around a bunch of equipment? And what's that become? What's the purpose of the trip? So maybe at some point, and I know Brian's laughing about this, at
Really
some
building
point,
muscle.
well, at some point you think, okay, what am I going to do? And you do that again and maybe do that with all the correct equipment. So anyway,
So what was your zoom on the camera? Because you had some really close up, nice shots.
I don't know I'd have to go back and look at what the specs are on it, but it does have a pretty good zoom. The only issue that you do run into is there was those shots of the falls, and we're way away from there. Well, it's windy. You got a light duty tripod, and so you're starting to, if you get real telephoto, you're going to get some bounce, even though you're on a tripod with the wind. So anyway, but yeah, that camera does a great job. I'm super happy with it.
Okay.
Music
We were
selection.
we were looking for parallax in the long shots and didn't see it, so we figured that it was done in post. What helps on that to make it less obvious is that you've kept the length of the clips reasonably short. If you give people too much time to look at it, they'll catch on to what you're doing there. We're big fans of cinematic style cinematography, and yeah, this was very nice. The music is very familiar. Was that McLeod or Stearns?
I couldn't tell you who the artist is. It is some sort of meditation music. I wanted something that was kind of Zen-like. And so anyway, to make a long story short, I know Arlene had talked about this a few weeks ago when she was talking about her videos, and she picks the music first and then starts to put the thing together. And I'm the same way. I have it in my head, and by finding the music first, then that determines the pace of the clips and the length of the clips and everything else. So anyway, it was some meditational yoga thing that I bought. It was $25. I'm like, this is worth it. I like the mood and the feel of the music. So
Yeah, it was nice with it. It was a nice combo.
So there may be a copyright issue when this goes on
No, you
YouTube.
bought the license.
no, I bought the license.
Oh, okay,
So I'm all good. No.
okay.
Very good. Yeah. No, that was delightful. And for me, especially since I was just there a couple of years ago, I recognized lots of places. But how on earth did you get Old Faithful with no people? I mean, that's
Well,
early in the morning.
all the people are off to the side. I'm right up front. You've got the circular seating walkway area there. Well, I'm just right up at the front of the boardwalk there, so there's not going to be anybody in the shot. So, and I'm also way to the side, which I like as a better shot, I think, because of the way the wind was blowing, knowing that the steam was going to be going that direction. It just made a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you get there early enough, there's nobody there. When it goes off, everybody goes, yay, and leaves, and then you can pick the spot you want for the next one.
Yeah. Jim?
Did you happen to see any wolves while you were there?
No, we did not see any wolves. We did see some coyotes, but did not see the wolves. So, and no bears either, and that's probably a good thing.
Okay.
We saw both. Yeah.
Back to the music, Kevin. I just love the piece that you selected. And I liked how you obviously had sound with your videos. And I liked how that was so subtle, the falls or whatever the sound might have been, but your music, your regular music just, dominated. And I thought that was a real effective way. We could hear the sounds of whatever it was.
Sure.
But not overwhelming or anything like that. So that was neat. Very well done.
Yeah, I would have liked to have had more ambient sound. The problem was, and this this is a discussion for a later time because I know we're running out of time here, but there was a lot of wind noise and I didn't have a shotgun mic with a cover that I would like to have had more ambient sound. And the other thing is yacky, inconsiderate tourists who are just laughing, talking, top of their lungs. I mean, I almost treat it like being in a museum, and I want to be really quiet and respectful. And a lot of shots were ruined because people are yakking, and it's like, okay, I can't use that sound. So anyway, with it being super windy, that I would like to have had more ambient sound, especially the water shots. But unfortunately, a lot of it got ruined either from wind or yacky tourists.
Why don't you do what we do and cheat?
I thought about that.
Go to, there's websites with sounds on them, and we've been known to do that because we've had the same experience. There was a beautiful sunset from the North Rim Lodge, and video was out of the question because there was a group of about 18 women behind us who were about 18 drinks into the afternoon.
It was men.
No, it wasn't. It was women.
Men waiting for the women.
18 drunks, just yeah. We feel your pain there.
Yeah, I agree
Well,
with what Brian's saying. Find some other stuff, but the other trick is to build your own library
Sure.
of sound effects.
Sure.
You know, you
Well,
pick
even
it up
like-
through different videos you make, and any
Oh, sure.
of the free stuff that's available that's license free is also great,
Sure. Yeah, I mean, even like with the plopping of the little pots and stuff, the sounds were great, but I couldn't use it. So anyway, it is what it is. I think next time being more aware of that, and maybe being a little more patient, wait for the yacky tourists to shut up would be nice too.
They'll get bored and walk on off. Maybe.
but it was a good
Ma-
mood piece, Kevin.
Well,
done
thank
on
you.
that.
It
Thank
was.
you very much.
It
Send
almost
it
looked.
to,
Yeah, it almost looked like you have had a filter on some of it.
Yeah, I'm using gradation filters in post, which
Uh,
is helping darkening up. I put a gradation filter around the edge,
yeah.
and then on some of the shots I come in with gradation on top or the bottom, just to help add that mood.
Yeah, it helps tie it all together too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Send it to Paul McCurry for a travel log.
Oh, I definitely will. I was kind of waiting. I wanted to show it to this group first. So I will definitely do that.
Good.
It's ready to go. Yeah. Well, anybody else have anything? Okay, then maybe I need to remind us that the next one will be the second Monday of December, and that is December 13th. Is that what everybody else's calendar looks like? Okay, so December 13th, same time, same station, and everything, and great. Over Thanksgiving, maybe another set of thank you videos. That's a good idea. That we
Any
have.
thoughts about more people gathering in person? I see some of the SIGs are
Running.
showing up at the classrooms there.
Just need somebody to set up the hybrid.
Right.
Crickets.
Thundering
More crickets.
Gotta be somebody who's there.
Somebody's there.
Yeah.
And Travelog tomorrow now shows us the Anza room on the
Okay.
calendar.
Okay.
Very good. Okay.
Yeah. Hope to see you guys watching.
See you. I'm going to close off the recording now.